quickie for you today. In my Renault Trafic or in a Vauxhall Vivaro or Nissan Primastar, if your check ignition light comes on, there's no need to panic. It's not your fuel injectors or anything like that. What it could be is, and I'll show you just now, it could be air or a little cut in this little pump here, and I have recently changed the diesel filter, but there's no air getting in here, and you can see down here, you know, when it's running, there's no air bubbles in here whatsoever, so it must be something else. It could be a pipe underneath the actual van next to the exhaust, and if you go under here, and we'll go to the other side of the exhaust. Oh, it's a bit of a tight squeeze, and up near the front of the exhaust, there's the culprit there. There's a little split in that pipe. I'm not actually sure what that pipe does, but that's a definite split. And I've checked online in forums and that, and somebody else has had this problem before. So I'm going to tape this up and switch off light and see if it comes back on again. Ideally I want to put a new piece of pipe in there, but I can't get one anywhere locally. And I also could have put a little joining piece in, but again I can't get one locally, so I'm going to have to wait until I get to the nearest Halfords to get that. But in the meantime I can just seal it up with a bit of insulation tape. So I'm going to switch the code off now, start it up and see if the code comes back. There's the codes there. So we'll just click clear. Okay. Put the ignition on. Start it up. And the little spanner light and the code has gone off. So there you have it, just a little crack in the pipe. That's what's causing the injection warning light to come on. And it could be other things, but it's more than likely to be one of those two things. So I'm going to try it for a little while now, and I'll go away and order that pipe and get the little connector and put them on just for a permanent fix. Well, I've driven the van 20 miles and I'm pleased to say that the code is not flashed up again. But I've done a bit more research since I got back in, and I had a look at my diagnostic scanner, and it said that the code was the code number was P047A, which is actually an exhaust pressure sensor malfunction. It might not necessarily be the exhaust pressure sensor, but it was actually the pipe leading to that sensor, and that's what's causing the fault. So there's obviously a pressure sensor on the inlet manifold and a pressure sensor on the exhaust, and I believe that they should tie up, and if the pipe was burst then they wouldn't tie up. So I'm pleased that that's what it was, and the code is now switched off. Another thing to point out is that you can run with the yellow spanner and the injector warning light, and I kept switching it off. I must have switched it off 3 or 4 times, but eventually it will flash up with a red stop light, warning light, and I switched that off as well. But when it goes into the red warning light, it will set the vehicle into limp mode, which is not so good. But you can switch it off. But what I'm saying is that you're best sorting the problem out, and in my case it was the burst rubber hose. So it's sorted temporarily for now, and I'm going to get another hose, and I'll probably join it because it's quite hard to get up to where the actual sensor is to change the hole of the hose. So I'll just put a little joining piece in, and that should sort it out.